Well, hello, everybody. Today is Friday. This is the Friday support call. I'm Stephen Carlson. Thank you for coming. Our host today is Yvonne, who stepped in last minute uh, because somebody was ill. Laurel Askew was ill, and so Yvonne Spence is our host. And what we were talking about just before the call started was, well, what were we talking about, Yvonne? It seemed very, very
Um,
relevant.
oh, we were talking about a few things, but one of it was definitely self-compassion. Um, and
Yes.
yeah,
Well, I was just saying that I had spent entirely too much time on social media last night and felt very guilty this morning. And it sometimes feels like I'm living a parallel life, and there's this ridiculous kind of a cartoon character going through resistance. And, now here comes all these emotions. And now let's just retreat in social media for a good, oh, I don't know, 5 hours. Yeah. And then you wake up and you go, well, nice to see you again. I don't know if that resonated with you, but nevertheless, it's your call, Yvonne. I'll let you take it and do what you will with it. And thank you for hosting.
okay, thank you. Thank you, Stephen. Yeah, so I can see there's a few hands up already, and I'll just kind of say before we start that for anybody else that might be considering putting their hand up or not, that I do particularly focus on supporting people to let go of their self-judgments and well, I think we kind of all need that sometimes. I probably have got this focus because that learning self-compassion helped me so much, but also I still need to keep reminding myself of it too. And when we support other people, it reminds us as well. So yeah, without any more ado, let's go to the first caller, which is Ramona.
Yes, hello. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you, Yvonne. I very much resonate with what you were saying about self-compassion and not judging ourselves. I've been working on myself for the past years, and I still got some judgment sometimes when the things are not going the way I would like. When especially I feel like now I feel I keep releasing a lot, and in the beginning, whatever I start goes well, and then suddenly something stops, and I feel like, it's like I don't know if there's something that prevents it, or I don't choose it quite, or I believe that I don't deserve it. I've been looking into that, but it's kind of like a repeating cycle or pattern that when I was looking today back in my life, whenever I was before the breakthroughs, it's like I would try to give up, or I lose the will to do it. I don't know if that makes sense. It's
Yeah, it
like,
does.
and I would like to go over this. It's not,
You're breaking up a little bit. I can't quite make out the last thing you said.
sorry, can you
Is it just me,
hear?
or is everybody else also having keep Stephen, can you hear her or not?
I hear the call breaking up a little bit, but
Okay.
that if we're patient, it
Okay.
may
That's
stabilize.
fine. It's just it was just in case it was my phone that was doing my computer that was doing something, but if it's not, that's fine. So just keep going, Romana.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm actually going to pick up on one thing that you said. You said something about you're losing the will. Um, do you know that if we try to do you mean by that willpower, or could you just explain a little bit more about that?
No, it's like I have these goals, and I get, I do all the steps, achieve it, work on myself, try to do whatever. And then when everything starts to work out, then something stops. I
Okay.
lose the energy, or I got distracted, or, it's like I don't
Okay.
put, I don't yeah, I don't know if it makes it just on that.
No, I understand what you
me,
mean now then. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it's not about trying to
yeah.
will yourself into doing things. It's that things
No,
are
no, no,
going,
no, no, no.
things are going really well, and then
Well,
something seems to shift.
yeah, and that's going when I look back for a few years now. It
Mhm.
improved, but it's like always something, you know, I cannot go all the way to end
Okay.
where I reach it. It's always like, yeah,
So it has
something,
improved,
it has improved, but
but there's a fear that it's going to keep repeating.
uh, it's not so much fear there, more observation, what has happened in the past,
Okay.
and just seeing that there is some, I don't know what happens, maybe I don't
So,
choose it
okay.
on
So,
some level, or yeah.
so can you see there's quite a lot of, there's two things here that I'm going to bring to your attention. One is that you're talking about things in the past as if they're happening right now. In this moment, have you just dropped something that was working really well?
Yeah, with releasing, everything was starting,
Re
but I
release.
feel like, yeah, releasing with
Okay.
Sedona.
But you're still here on a releasing call now.
Yeah, I like the stuckness,
Okay.
and I don't know how to. I've been doing today. I've tried to overcome this and release on this, but it's like, am I not seeing something, or
Okay. So there's a couple of things I think that would be quite helpful here, but one of the first things is, can you see how much you want to figure all of this out to try and understand what the problem is? And have you ever heard Hale or anybody else say that the only reason we need to figure out why we've got a problem is if we're going to continue having this problem, if we're going to have it again?
yeah.
So would you rather know what's been causing this problem and figure that all out? Or would you rather actually let it go? Which, and you don't have to try and work
I
out
don't
how
have. I know. Yeah, I know. I don't have to understand to release it, because I've done this in the past also. Because when my mind is, when I wanted to understand, I got stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is absolutely nothing wrong with understanding. There's a huge difference between wanting to understand and actually understanding. Because when we want to understand something, our mind keeps going, why is this happening? What's going on? And it becomes really difficult to actually hear anything else but that. Whereas when we let ourselves just be as we are and just release whatever is coming up, then sometimes the insights will come and we'll see, oh, yeah, I was doing that because of that. But the answers aren't going to necessarily, and again, there's nothing wrong with understanding, oh yes, when I was a tiny kid, I got told off for really succeeding at something and that's why I don't do it or whatever. That's fine if that is what happens and we then move on from that. But if we have that insight and it doesn't shift anything, we're still in the same place, then it probably wasn't that in the first place. I've heard he'll say
I
that
believe,
many times, and and it makes a lot of sense to me, that as well. So yeah. So again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with trying to figure it out. It's just what minds do. And in fact, my mind is a master at trying to figure things out as well. And I found it really helpful to kind of explore some of the more kind of heady ways of dealing with things, as well as the releasing ways. So it's absolutely fine to do both. Sometimes we need to be able to understand to feel that it's safe to let go. And if that's the case, that's okay too. So I think what I'm saying here is, can you see that you're actually not doing anything wrong? You're just doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's just this. What came up is disappointment and judgment that I haven't made the progress.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's work with that. Can you let yourself feel the disappointment that's here in this moment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And can you even feel that in your body? Can you get a sense of it?
Yes.
And without having to try to release it, but would it be okay if it just melted away, that sensations in the body, just that? Not even necessarily anything else, but just the sensations in the body. Would it be okay if they released?
Yeah.
Yeah. And could you give yourself a little bit of compassion and love for having those feelings? For having that sense of disappointment?
Yes.
It's a painful feeling to have. So can you just bring some love to it now?
Yes.
Yeah. And you also mentioned judgment. Do you mean self-judgment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this frustration.
Yeah. That was the word that was
I've
coming
been,
to my mind. Yeah.
yeah, because I've been strong for so long and helping others, and
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
and I've improved towards I was very critical of myself a few years ago. I see improvement very well,
Oh,
and
good.
yeah, but there still are some layers, when
Yeah.
it's kind of, I'm fed up with
Yeah. So
all of
that
this.
feeling
Yeah.
of being fed up with all of it, can you actually let that be here just for a moment? That sense of judgment, can you allow
Yes.
that to be here? Because sometimes when we have that sense of self-judgment, the first thing we think is we need to get rid of that because we kind of know it's not good for us, but we can almost
Yeah.
then end up pushing away too much by doing that. So can you just let that feeling of self-judgment, that frustration with yourself, just be felt in this moment?
It's painful.
Yes. And can you give yourself some compassion and love because it feels painful? It's not a nice feeling. It's horrible. Yes, I get that.
Oh,
And
yes.
what if it's only hurting and only painful because you're believing the thoughts that your mind says?
Yeah, my mind was very sorry.
You were
It's a lot
sorry?
of arguments. My
Yeah.
mind had a lot of arguments. Yeah, it
Yeah.
knows how to
Yeah.
defend
Okay.
it.
Yeah. Because when we start arguing with our mind and saying we're not good enough, then there comes in the bit to try and defend. So is there
Yeah.
a bit trying to defend you right now as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you welcome that as well? Just let that be here too.
Yeah.
And
It's
could
kind of
you
like
hold it?
yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead, carry on.
It's like I love suffering, even though I don't, it's like this weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sometimes our
On
suffering can
one,
kind of feel like a badge. Like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
look at, yeah. So
push
can
and
you,
pull.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So can you just notice what that push and pull feels like, that wanting to suffer and
Oh,
wanting to not suffer?
yes.
And can you notice any sense that it's personal, that it means something about you?
Yes.
And are you any of those two aspects, either the bit that wants to punish and suffer and judge, or the part that wants to protect and defend? Are either of them actually you? The
No,
totality of who you are? No,
no, no.
no.
But I still keep holding on to them, like, it's mine. This is what I created, and it's
Yes.
like it's my product, kind of.
So
It's
can you
weird.
welcome how much that feels like you? Can you just welcome that sense of me? This is mine. Can you allow that to be here?
Yeah, this was such a long part of me.
It feels like it, yes. And can you
Yeah.
also notice, is there also love?
Yes, it is.
So can you welcome that love?
Yes.
And then can you again welcome the sense of me that shows up in that two warring parts? That sense that that's me, any identification with that, can you just welcome that?
Yes.
And then can you welcome love?
Yes.
And can you welcome any remaining sense of identification? And can you welcome love?
Yes.
And does love want to judge or punish the other parts at all?
No.
Could it be, therefore, that you've been judged and punished enough?
Yes.
Or would it be okay to let that habit dissolve as best you can and just in this moment?
Absolutely.
Mm. And what's here right now?
It's much lighter.
Good.
There is still some heaviness on my heart.
Okay. So is there any desire to get rid of that heaviness? Any sense that it shouldn't be there?
It's just this feeling of draining.
Okay. So what if that's just all the habits and patterns beginning to drain away?
Yes.
Does it feel like that, or does it feel like it's more
Yes.
coming up? Yeah. So could you just allow that? Could you again allow love to meet that feelings?
Yes.
And to also hold any sense of a you, any sense of me? Could that be held with love and by love?
Yes.
And does love think you need to get rid of a sense of me? Or is there room for it?
There's room for it, yeah.
Yeah. How's that now?
Peaceful. Calmer.
Okay. Does that feel complete, or are there still any buts there?
No, it's complete. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing all that. I think that's really helpful for other people to hear too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sharon?
Hi, Yvonne.
Hi.
That's really been helpful for me, but it's brought up a lot of really uncomfortable feelings in my stomach and in my throat and my heart.
Okay.
I feel a lot of what Romana was saying and what you were saying to Romana was really resonating with me as well. I feel like I have a belief in punishment. I feel like I'm being punished in some ways. I feel that seems to be a theme going on with my family as well. And I've been trying to open up to abundance recently because I find myself, I'm not working at the moment through health issues and don't have anywhere fixed to live. And where I am staying, there's lots of issues. And what it's brought up for me is like not deserving, feeling like I need to forgive myself, not feeling entitled to a place. I feel there's a lot of grief going on, and I think that's partly around my brother took his own life 4.5 years ago, and I've also lost a lot of young men in this family since my brother died. It's just been one after the other, and it just feels like I just really worry about my nephew as well, because he's been through a really traumatic time this year, and just I'd really like to release myself from all that's going on. Just aware that I'm quite hard on myself at times, so more compassion would be ideal. So yeah, just help around that, please, Yvonne. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, first of
Yeah.
all, I mean, what you have just described would be a lot for anybody to go through.
Yeah.
You said that your brother had died 4.5 years ago, and that
Yeah.
other people in your family have also died, and so you
Yeah.
are grieving. Yeah.
Yeah. In the same year as my brother, like 7 months later, my cousin, who was just 30, died, and he was in an accident in Spain, and just like, and then 3 other cousins, all in their 40s. It's just bizarre. All on my mum's side as well. It's just been, yeah, just a lot.
So there's just a lot going on there, and you've got uncertain living circumstances,
yeah,
and health issues, you said, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably just, I mean, I haven't had a place to live for 13 years. It's been a long time. I've been on the Sedona journey for 2 years, and to be honest, it's helped so much with chronic anxiety and depression. It's really shifted a lot of anxiety, not completely, but a lot than what it was. I've been on the non-duality journey for about 20 years, but the Sedona has been such a practical tool, really. It's been so helpful.
That's really good that it's been so helpful for you.
Yeah, it has.
So can you allow yourself to just have a little bit of compassion for yourself for all you've been through?
Can. What I'm aware of, there's like a hypervigilance there, just thinking, you know, what's it's like sometimes it's like, what's next gonna happen? It's like I'm on edge. There's something else gonna happen.
That sense of being on edge, and you also talked about not being deserving, which would make you feel on edge.
Yeah.
So can you notice what that feels like in the body, that feeling of being on edge?
Yeah, it feels like there's a panic. It's like an anxiety right the way through my body, but more so in my stomach. I'd say there was a heaviness, real heaviness.
So can you allow that heaviness to be here for a moment?
I can, yes.
And if it wasn't here, what would you have?
Relief, I suppose.
Okay, so can you get a sense of that, however small it might be in this moment?
I feel, yeah, there's a little bit of like, as you said that, I was like, I'm more open to beingness, and you know, beingness being there for me. Yeah.
So could you just give yourself permission to feel that, to get a sense of that?
Yeah, and just really, you know what I was aware of then, which is quite strange. It's like, but then there's a pullback in the mind. I've got to be alert. I've got to work things out. Yeah.
That's what minds do.
That was quite interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So well done for spotting that. That's exactly what minds do. So can you just give your mind some love for trying to keep you safe?
I can, but I'm really irritated with the mind and angry, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. So can you welcome that feeling of irritation and anger with the mind? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Maybe you would like it to just shut up or something. I certainly felt like,
sod off.
Yeah. So can you welcome wanting the mind to shut up and sod off?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. And how's that worked so far?
I feel that there's it's not as heavy in my stomach. It's a little bit still there, but not as heavy. And now I feel there's a little bit more going on in the back of my throat.
Okay, good. I actually meant how has the trying to get your mind to shut up worked, but that's fine. I'm glad. No, it was good to hear what's happening with you. So can you welcome that feeling in the back of your throat?
Yeah, it's quite it like takes my breath away. This I've been trying to do a lot of work on this, to be honest. Feels quite strong.
Okay,
And it's,
so
yeah.
can you just let it be here for a moment? And is it
I
part of the
can,
whole
yeah.
on edge pattern?
Oh goodness, it is, yeah. It's like a
Yeah.
panic. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes I think it's just a panic because I can't breathe properly.
So can
Yeah.
you just allow that to be here, that on edge feeling, that pattern, wherever it's showing up in your body? It's maybe moving about a bit, going from the
Yeah.
stomach to the throat, whatever. And
Yeah,
then,
it's making me shake now.
yeah. Is it making you shake, or is it maybe shaking
Yeah.
free? Yeah.
Oh,
And can
yeah.
you also welcome the sense of relief that you mentioned earlier?
Yes, there was a little bit of that, yes. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you welcome any remaining sense of on edge?
Yeah, it's really intense for me, that.
Okay.
Oh.
Can you welcome any resistance you might have to it, any wanting rid of it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I definitely want it to go.
So can you just welcome how much you want it gone?
Oh. Yeah, there was a bit of grief in that.
Good. That's probably time for it to come up. That's good that it is. Can you just allow that too?
Oh. It feels like there's a calmer energy coming in now.
Good. Can you just
Yeah.
allow that too then?
Yes, I can.
And can you welcome or allow any sense that any of this is personal, that it either is you or it means something about you?
Yeah, it just feels personal. It feels like, why have I experienced all this trauma in my life?
Okay, so notice that question, why?
And then with that why, I mean, the why is not helpful. I know it's like there's that panic again. Like, oh, life's out to get me. Oh, goodness, yeah.
So the why comes in, and there's a whole lot of other questions come into
Yeah.
to try and answer that why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you yourself recognize that it's not hugely helpful.
Yeah.
And you also see that it is the mind trying to help.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So could you give the mind some compassion for how it's been trying to help?
Oh. Oh. That was helpful in that I was able to give myself a little bit of compassion as well.
Good.
Even though I was
Good.
aware there was a little bit of, I don't know whether it's blocks or it just feels like it's a little bit alien for me to give myself compassion. but
Yeah,
but there was definitely an opening there, Yvonne. Yeah.
good. Well, I'll just sort of explain something to you. That when people have been used to not giving themselves compassion or have not experienced a lot of it in their lives, and it sounds like
Yeah.
that's the case for you.
Absolutely.
The research does show that when you do experience compassion, whether you're giving it to yourself or someone else is giving it to you, that there can be a resistance to it, a trying to push it away. And all the
Yeah.
thoughts that are kind of the opposite of that will come up, which is very similar to what Hale talks about to do with releasing, that when we're releasing and we get a space and a spaciousness, then it almost creates a vacuum that the other stuff that's ready to come up could be released. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
absolutely okay that there may be some uncomfortable feelings too.
Okay. Well, thanks for explaining that to me, Yvonne, because sometimes I think, is there something wrong with me? And I know that's
No,
just
it's
yeah.
absolutely normal.
Yeah. And you think you're the only one that experiences that. So that was helpful to hear that. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm glad
Yeah.
that was helpful.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, how are you feeling right now in this moment?
Yeah, I still feel there's some anxiety in my throat, but that feels like this has been a long-standing thing, and I'm feeling that there's still a backlog of emotion there, and I think it's just a thing that'll be layer after layer because it'd probably be too much for me to let go of in one go. That's what I'm feeling intuitively. So apart from that, in my throat, I am feeling calmer. So yeah.
And I think it's important that you trust your intuition if that feels like the right thing for you, and that's right. And if you would like to release a little bit further, we still can.
Yeah. Oh, if you've got time to do so, I appreciate. Yeah.
I mean, there's one other person got their hand up at the moment, but like you found the last caller helpful, and I'm sure that they're finding this helpful too.
Yeah.
So
okay. Thank you.
That feeling of anxiety that's there in your throat, is there any sense of that being personal? That you mentioned how it's been there a long time. Does that feel like it's you?
Oh yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah.
And if it wasn't here, would you still exist?
Yes. How definitely I know that to be true. Yes.
Yes. So is it you?
Yeah. No.
No. So are you aware of it rather than actually it? Are you that which is aware?
Yeah, I am aware of it, but as you said, as you're saying that, I'm like a little bit now apprehensive, thinking, are you going to ask me to let it go? And there's a bit of a pushing away on that.
Okay, so can you welcome that resistance to letting it go?
Yeah, I'm aware that I'm wanting to hold on to it.
Yeah, so can you give yourself permission to want to hold on?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. I mean, it's felt like you for however long, so it's going to be, maybe a little bit challenging to let it go, but that's okay. It's not right or wrong. It's just what you're feeling in this moment.
Yeah, it feels like it's a safety mechanism. It's like it's familiar, even though it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So can you notice any remaining resistance to letting it go?
Oh. Yeah, and there's fear coming up now.
Yeah. Would it be okay to let go of maybe a little bit of it, maybe 10% or 5%?
Yes, I can let that go. Yeah.
Okay, good. And how does that feel?
Just feels yeah, it feels calmer that now. There's still like a dry sensation and still a sore sensation. Sorry, a sore sensation in my throat, but I do feel there was calmness coming in through letting a little bit of that go.
Good. And What if it's okay for that dryness to be there? What if there's nothing wrong with it? It's just what you're experiencing in this moment. Can you see that there's a little bit of trying to get rid of it at the same time as there
Yeah,
is the holding on?
there's the thoughts coming. Well, it's important to get rid of it because I can't breathe properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet you're managing to breathe fine just now, aren't you?
Yeah.
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 So can you just allow it to be there as much as it is in this moment?
Yes, I can.
And would it be okay if it dissolved? You don't have to try, but if it was to disappear or dissolve, would that be okay?
What came off was like that would be wonderful if I could let it go, but then the grief came in. So, yeah. Well, I'm glad that came out.
Good. How's that
Yeah.
feeling now?
Again, I feel a lot calmer now, yes.
Good.
Wow. I feel so calm right now, Yvonne. It feels very unusual how I'm feeling right now.
Good.
It feels like a lot of anxiety is just gone.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
wonderful.
Yeah, it is wonderful. I just
Yeah.
hope it stays.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
notice that and just allow it to be as it is, and there may be more
Yeah.
feelings come up. It doesn't mean you're going backwards or anything. It
No.
just means if that does happen, that it's happening and it'll pass
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
And you're doing great.
Yeah. Oh, that was really helpful, that, Yvonne. I really appreciate your support there. Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm glad that was helpful. Thank you.
It was. Thank you very much. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Michael?
Hi there. Good
Hi.
afternoon.
Hi. What would you like to share?
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit rough today. I'm not feeling very well, and yeah, I'm feeling a bit off. So just feeling into that. The neighbour is literally getting their roof taken off. Scaffolding has been going up the whole day. I'm going crazy. And it's like really hot. So there's a lot of like, ugh. Yeah.
So it sounds like there's kind of physical things going on in the body and also just
Yes.
kind of maybe emotions about what's going on around you.
Noise. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your main feeling in this moment right now?
I think fear.
Okay. So can you just allow that to be here? Just as best you can, and just in this moment. You don't need to hold on to your fear or anything, but
Yeah.
just allow it to be here in this moment. as best you can.
Yeah.
And then, can you notice if there's any wanting rid of it? Any resistance to it?
Yeah, it's like a wanting to survive. Yeah.
Okay, so can you welcome that feeling of wanting to survive, that feeling of wanting safety and security?
Oh, I lost it. I had it and then I lost my
Well, that's okay.
concentration.
If you've lost it, that's fine. What's here right now?
I'm wanting to get something out of this conversation.
Okay. Can you welcome wanting to get something out of the conversation then?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what does your mind want for you to get?
I think some peace,
Okay.
something. Yeah. Yeah.
And is there any peace
Yeah.
here already?
It's running low today. I would say
It's running low.
low.
Okay.
We're running low.
Right. So right in this moment, is there any peace?
Yes.
Yeah. And
I
is
really
there
have
any,
to look for them.
you have to look, that's okay.
Yeah,
How about not looking for it? How about just allowing whatever's here in this moment? So what if it's not that much work? Can you just allow yourself to feel however you're feeling? As much fear, agitation, whatever is here right now. Or is there resistance to that? Wanting not to be feeling the
No.
way you are? There's no resistance.
Just really noticing, yeah.
Okay. And is the mind quite busy coming up with thoughts and stories and things here right now?
I don't know.
No. Okay. I wasn't sure. So let's do a wee experiment. What's here when thinking falls away? And you don't have to try and make it fall away. Just notice what's here. Or another way of putting that is, what's here when there's no thinking about problems? What do you notice?
I'm not feeling very regulated. Yeah.
You're not feeling very regulated. So
Yeah.
can you welcome that thought?
Yeah.
And what are the feelings that are here in this moment if you're not feeling regulated? Or put it another way, is there any sense that you should be feeling regulated, that there's something wrong with not feeling Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I think I'm spending way too much time by myself. which
Okay.
I kind of like, but it's
Uh-huh.
also actually not so good for me. And so I'm noticing that as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it sounded to me like there might be a little bit of self-judgment in there as well.
I'm not even sure. I'm just trying to notice, to be honest.
Well, the sense that you think you're spending way too much time by yourself and
Yeah.
that you need to change things. There's certainly something going on there where you feel like things should be different than they are.
Yes, of course.
So
Although
can you
that might
just,
just be intelligent. Yeah,
sorry?
might just be intelligent.
So could you welcome that whole judgment, that sense that you should be doing something different, that you shouldn't be spending as much time on your own, that it's not good for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you didn't have that thought, what would be here right now?
Can you say that again?
Ask that in a different way, maybe. So there's
No,
a
no, just say
belief.
the same one.
Oh, just okay. If
Just
you
say the
didn't have that thought, what would be here right now in this moment? How would you be in this moment?
same. Yeah. Yeah.
That sounds like maybe you'd have some laughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your child for you.
You're gonna keep an which child?
Oh, we've got somebody.
Oh, John. Oh, right. Yeah. Thanks. Nice to know that you're
I
there.
think there's somebody that's unmuted somewhere.
I tried to call him, but he didn't answer.
So
Present.
that's why you need to mute yourself, and then he'll be able to call you.
I've muted. We're good.
Okay, cool.
You got your wallet, your phone.
Oh, she's back again.
Right. Michael, how are you doing now?
I've lost my. I've completely lost where I was. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Okay. And is that okay?
No, I feel like I've lost. I was onto something and then I got distracted. And
Okay.
yeah. So like, yeah.
So is there any sense that you need to be watching yourself all the time
Oh
and
God,
making
yeah.
sure?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of thought that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
So
yeah.
can you, sorry? So can you welcome
Yeah.
that thought that you need to be watching yourself and knowing what you're feeling and thinking and all of that?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And can you welcome any wanting to do anything with that? Any wanting to hold on to it or to push it away? Any wanting to justify it, maybe even?
I don't know. There's something else.
Okay.
So there's a vigilance, and there's a vigilance, and
Uh-huh.
I'm noticing, and it feels very intelligent and a good idea, albeit hard
Mhm.
work.
Yeah, okay. So I think that last bit's maybe the clue that it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And does it also feel very personal?
Oh yeah, and also it's about trust as well. Like, yeah, it really is down to me, and yeah, yeah,
What was the last thing you said? Trust, and you really,
down to me. It's
okay,
down to me.
okay, to you. Okay. So can you welcome that feeling that that's you? That you need to attend to you, this vigilance, that any sense at all that vigilance is who you are. And that it's really crucial and important.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. And Are you that vigilant, or are you aware of it?
At this point, both for sure.
At this
For
point,
sure,
sorry,
both. Yeah.
both, right? Okay, yeah. I mean, that's probably accurate.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Hmm. So if that vigilance wasn't here, would you still exist?
um, I don't even know, to be honest.
Okay, that's as good an answer as any. And does that vigilance bring peace or stress into your life?
That seems like an invalid question, to be honest. It's like it's just necessary.
Okay.
Like,
I'm not asking you to let it
yeah,
go. I'm just asking whether it's peaceful or stressful to have that vigilance.
probably more towards a little bit more towards stressful, I would say. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. So
Hard
how
to even
about,
say, just to be honest. It's hard to say.
yeah,
Genuinely, yeah.
so how about we welcome that feeling that is stressful, that part of it?
You know, I honestly can't even say that it's stressful because it's just so used to it. So it's hard to say, for to be honest.
Okay,
So it's not like I'm really stressed about it. It's just what it is, you know.
okay. So what would you like right now from me?
Um, I think maybe just the space, just to notice it. Yeah.
Okay, okay, cool. Can you just notice it then? Just allow that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah.
And how's that?
It's a lot. Yeah.
Mm. You mentioned
A lot.
space. Can you welcome spaciousness as well?
Actually, I just want to just really welcome the feelings, first of all.
Okay, so the sort of vigilant feeling or just any feeling?
Yeah. 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 That one.
The
Yeah.
vigilant one. Okay, so can you welcome that feeling of vigilance?
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Definitely.
again, can you welcome any sense that it's personal, any sense that it's you?
Of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hugely so.
Yeah. And can you welcome again that sense of vigilance?
Yeah. Of
And can
course.
you welcome any wanting to do anything with it, either to hold on to it or to let it go? Any wanting to do anything at all about it?
Yeah. Yes. Of course.
Yeah, okay. And then again, can you welcome the sense that it's personal?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. And are you that vigilance? Or are you that which is aware of it?
I honestly am not even sure. Yeah, I can tell you.
Okay, that's fine. Do you feel able or willing to welcome spaciousness now at all? Or would you rather fully welcome the vigilance?
I'll keep going with the vigilance right now.
Okay, so can you fully welcome
Yeah.
that vigilance?
Yeah. Yeah.
And is there any wanting to either hold on to it or get rid of it?
It's quite painful. Yeah. To notice.
Okay. Okay. So can you welcome that feeling that you mentioned as painful? Can you allow
Yes.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And could you give yourself some love and compassion for feeling that and for noticing it?
Of course.
Maybe you could allow space around it.
I can.
Good. And what's here now?
I can.
How? Good, good, good. You can allow that. So can you welcome any remaining sense of vigilance?
Yes. Definitely.
And could you also welcome the compassion or love for yourself for feeling that? Just as best you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can you welcome
Yeah.
the vigilance?
I can.
And then can
I
you
can.
welcome, you can. Good.
Yes.
And then can you welcome love? Allow yourself to feel love for yourself and for the vigilance, for trying to keep you safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And can you welcome any remaining vigilance?
Yeah.
And then can you welcome love?
Yeah. I can. I can.
Good, good, good. And can you welcome the vigilance again? However much is still remaining. Can you just make space for it and allow it to be here?
Yeah.
And then could you welcome that love again?
Yeah. I think so.
And could you, as best you can, allow the sense of vigilance to either be held by the love or to rest in it so that love envelops it and holds it?
That's quite tricky. I'm not sure. That's quite
Okay,
seems
just
quite
as best,
complicated.
okay. Well, basically, can you just allow the sense of vigilance just to dissolve into the love as best you can? And if that doesn't seem possible, that's okay. I'll just ask it in a different way.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Wow.
Could you allow love to keep you safe?
I'm not sure about that one.
Okay. So is there some resistance to love?
Yeah, I would definitely choose vigilance first, for sure.
Okay. Can you welcome wanting to hold on and choose vigilance first?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And then can you welcome love as best you can? Or
Yes.
compassion? Or whatever word
Yes.
resonates with you. Which word resonates best with you? Is it space?
I don't know. Just like love. Just go with love.
Love is fine. Okay.
Yeah.
And can you welcome vigilance again?
Yeah.
And could you open to love just as best you can?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah.
enough. And could you welcome vigilance?
Uh,
And then could you open to love just as best you can?
yeah. Again.
How's that feeling now?
I have no idea. I really don't know. Yeah. Who knows?
Does it feel
Yeah.
complete, or does it feel like there's still quite a lot there that needs to be released?
I honestly don't know.
You don't know. Okay.
Let me just check.
Maybe that's a good sign.
Yeah, let me just check. I feel like that's. Hold on, let me just check. Actually, can you maybe just ask me one more vigilance question just to make
Yes,
sure?
of course. Could you welcome any remaining sense of vigilance?
Yeah.
And then could you
Yeah, it's
just,
still there. Yeah.
yeah.
Still
And then
there.
could you just, is there any wanting rid of it?
Yeah.
Could you just allow it to be here as long as it is? Just open to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah. And then could you
Yeah.
also, open to love?
Yeah. Yeah.
And could you open to any remaining vigilance?
Yeah.
And could you open to love?
Yeah.
How does that feel now?
Yeah. I think actually need that last little round there. That was
Good.
definitely useful.
Good.
Very
Good.
much
Good.
indeed. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Looks like there's no more hands up now, and I think we're after the hour.
I don't see any hands either.
No.
Yvonne, was there maybe a theme to this support call that you might have noticed? Could it be self-compassion?
Yeah. As usual, but I tend to think I see that everywhere because I think we all need it most of the time. And I think sometimes we can get stuck in our heads and beat ourselves up, and it's good to bring love into the space. And also, I think we really don't need to try and force ourselves to get rid of emotions. That if an emotion is there, it's been there for a long time, for a very, as a way to try and cope, and it's okay to still have that feeling. But we can give it space and we can give it love, and then it will probably settle by itself. That's my experience anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of tend to think of emotions as little crying children. When they come to you crying, you tell them to go away, they just keep coming back. Whereas if you set them down, then they can settle by themselves.
Well, that's it. Like so many things, it's counterintuitive. You think that, oh, well, I should be stricter here, I'm failing.
Yeah, I have that thoughts too, very often. Yeah. I
Well,
see
if we
there's actually a hand up now too, though. Lisbeth's
I
got her
see a
hand
hand.
up.
It looks like Lisbeth. Why don't you unmute yourself?
Hi,
Yes.
Yvonne. Hi,
Hi.
everybody. So the beauty of releasing together like we do now is that I didn't know the word vigilance. I thought, what? Vigilance? I thought, shall I Google it, or shall I get my dictionary here? And then I thought, so when you started doing holistic, I just went with the love and the opposite of love, kind of, and I felt this. I suddenly became aware of vigilance, and I still don't know what it means. Like somewhere a contracting energy, you know.
It's, yeah, it's kind of been.
I still don't know the word, but I felt like, you know, even though we don't know the words or we don't know what's exactly meant by some words or sentences or whatever, that the releasing can, in a group, like what we do now, that you just release with each other, and then it doesn't even matter what it's about. So that's really, really, really beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really, really, thank you for sharing that, because it was really interesting to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't even matter, you know. I'm still interested. What's vigilance, you know? But it doesn't matter because I released with, you know, the group on vigilance and love. So that's very beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think that's really good to share that. Yeah.
Yes.
The words, I mean, that's what Hale always tells us, that the words don't matter, and that just proves it.
Exactly. Exactly. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Even if it would be in French or Italian or Hindi, you know, you would still feel the energy and release with each other, because this is a group process. Really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that, Lisbeth. And Marie-Françoise.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to say thank you. And yeah, I know it's the end of time, but if you could just do a quick one about still being attached, not able to detach from family members who, even if you're going through something, it just feels like everything stays the same. The story's the same. I'm the same. It's like I'm trapped in this thought loop story, just trapped and feeling jealous, like outside of life, like everybody else is moving on, and I'm just kind of still stuck. And I'm not trying to, well, maybe I guess I am trying to figure it out, but I just.
That's a good spot that you've noticed that then. Yeah. And that sense of feeling trapped.
Yeah.
Can you see that that's a feeling? Can you see that that's a feeling too?
No.
Okay. What? So it doesn't feel like a feeling, it feels like the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when we believe something, it feels like the truth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So would you rather go on believing it, or would you be open to maybe exploring it to see whether or not it's true?
I'd be open to seeing whether or not it's true.
Yeah. So could you just allow yourself to notice how much it feels true in this moment that you're trapped?
Yes.
Yeah. And then could you open just a tiny bit to the possibility that it could just be a thought?
My mind is throwing up evidence. I don't know how to get around that.
Yeah, your mind will do that. So can you even give the mind some gratitude for throwing up its evidence? Because that's what minds do.
It
That's
seems
one
to
of the
cause so
ways.
many problems. Why would I give it gratitude?
The mind.
Yeah.
Well, because it's doing the best it can.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though it's wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you're even beginning to see that maybe it's not telling you the truth.
Well, it's making me miserable. Me, whatever. Then I don't know.
Okay. And what is this me? What is this me that's miserable? Yeah.
I don't know. The me that's trapped in this body, this circumstance, this situation.
Okay. So can you have some compassion for how you're feeling in this moment? Some love?
trying. I'm blaming myself because
You're blaming yourself. Okay.
yeah, I don't know how not to, because it's just,
Well, that's a pattern for you. We know that already because we've worked together a few times, and this blaming
yeah,
self comes
I'm
up quite
embarrassed
often.
about it, but I don't know how to stop it.
Well, one of the ways that we don't manage to stop it is by telling ourselves we shouldn't be feeling it. That keeps it going. So in this moment, that part of you that's judging and attacking you,
Yeah.
could you just allow that to be here right now?
Yes.
And then could you welcome all you're wanting rid of that as well?
Yes.
Yeah. And could you welcome any sense that that is personal, that that's you, that attacking part, that self-attacking part, that that's who
Yes.
you are? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it wasn't here, would you still exist?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not the totality of you.
Okay.
Yeah. And then again, when we do this to ourselves, there's that sense of punishment. So can you notice that? The urge to punish, to judge,
Yeah.
to attack? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you notice what that feels like in the body? Just the urge even, not any of
Oh,
the thoughts. Yeah.
it just feels terrible. It makes me do all kind of weird things like overeat or run to comfort food or just,
Yeah.
it just makes me treat myself terribly because, yeah.
So could you maybe have been punished enough?
I thought so, but this new something new.
Yeah. So it just came up again, the old pattern.
Yeah.
And yeah. So in this moment, could you make a new choice right now that you've been punished enough? Is that possible?
Yes. I'm gonna try. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to try. Just making the choice is enough.
Okay.
Trying implies that you're expecting it not to work, really.
Right.
So, yeah, can you see that?
I expect most things not to work anymore. It's like I'm completely lost. I'm doing things, but I'm at the same time I've completely lost faith in myself. Like,
okay.
And
yeah.
People pity me and I get angry, but then I think, yeah.
So
terrible.
That feeling of having lost faith in yourself, can you notice that? What that feels like?
It feels like nothing is ever, it's just the end of the road.
That's a thought. That's not a feeling. Can you see the feeling? Can you feel the feeling that comes with that?
Yeah, just dread and all kind of different feelings.
Okay. Okay. So can you welcome those feelings as best you can right now in this moment?
Yes.
Or just let them be here. Just be open to them.
Yes.
And then would it be okay to let them pass through?
Yes.
Yes. And could you just give yourself a little bit of compassion for feeling all those feelings?
Yes.
And a little bit more?
Yes.
And what's here right now?
I feel kind of lethargic and just kind of
Okay. And are you judging yourself for that?
Yes.
Okay. So can you see again that judgment is just going to not necessarily? Yeah.
It just keeps coming.
So would it be okay to let that judgment pass through? To not react to it, to let it just dissolve?
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes when we have habitual thoughts that come up like that, we do have to make a choice to go with, yeah, I'm not going to keep doing this.
Right.
Can you see that?
Yes.
So would you be willing to choose self-kindness in this moment?
Yes.
Good, good, good. How's that feeling?
I noticed the thought that was, oh, I hope this works. But
Yeah, okay.
I just.
So right in this moment, you're feeling slightly better though.
Yeah.
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 What if that's all you need to know right now?
That I feel slightly better. Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you just give yourself a little bit more love and compassion for how you're feeling in this moment?
Yes.
Okay, good. How's that now?
It's quieter.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was just forgetting for a moment. And when you remember, when you're reminded, then you can go back to being kinder to yourself.
How do I do that when I'm on my own? Like
Well,
I think as Elizabeth said, when we're on a group, it's a little, well, not
yes,
necessarily.
it's obviously
When
easier when
somebody
you're in a
else.
group. But
Yeah.
the email I sent you yesterday is exactly about
Yeah.
this.
Yes. This
So maybe
morning.
read it a couple of times.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there is that choice, and we have that moment where we can choose to keep going into the old loop or just go, no,
But
not this time.
what happens when it just grabs you before you can even, it's like it's a different part of your brain or something. Before you know it, you're in it and you can't even.
The moment that you notice that, that's when you have the choice to go, am I going to keep on beating myself up for getting caught back in it? Or am I this time going to go, oh, I'm back in it? And then the moment you notice that you're in it, you're no longer in it. You've stepped away from it.
Uh-huh.
Does
Even
that
when
make
you're with
sense?
people, yes. Even when you're with
Yes.
people who might be triggering it, like all of a sudden you're yelling and like, what am I? Oh no, here it is again, and I don't know how to stop it. And
yeah, I mean, in that circumstances, it might be an idea to step away for a few moments or something, just to let yourself notice and then
just
choose to react differently.
just stop the conversation because it's usually on the phone. Just be like, oh,
Yeah,
okay. I'm not gonna
if
talk
that's
about
what you need to do, then yeah.
if I have enough presence of mind. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Always.
And if you notice afterwards, then you can have compassion with yourself for the fact that you did get caught up in it again, because we all get caught up in family things.
Right. Even if the consequences are high, like nobody speaks to you and all that.
Well, I can't honestly say from that specific experience, since I've not had that, but the thing is that you can release afterwards if you need to. And you're saying nobody is speaking to you. So is there a feeling there right now about that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
it's everything is my fault. Like
okay. And how can you see again? That's another thought, another judgment.
Yes, but if everybody's not speaking, I'm the common denominator. If everybody's wrong, so I must be the one who's wrong. Even though I feel,
what if nobody is wrong? What if it's just that tempers got heated and things changed, things went in that particular way?
Yeah, that could be, but it's gone on for years and years now, so it doesn't feel like it's temporary. It feels permanent.
Okay.
So I just feel like, okay, so I'm not allowed to make a mistake. I just get punished for it.
Well, we can't change how other people react to us, although sometimes when we change how we are, they do change and react differently. But you do have a choice to let go of punishing yourself. Can you see that?
Well, it's hard because I miss them and I'm alone. And so
well, then could you allow that sadness and that grief to be here?
Yes.
And can you see that that has nothing to do with punishing yourself, that grief can be allowed without you having to punish yourself for it?
Yeah, I just want things to be different and they're not. So, you know.
And that's grief. So can you allow that?
Yes.
And can you have compassion for yourself for the grief that you're feeling?
Yes.
And as best you can just now, could you just fully allow that grief to be here?
Yes.
And then could you give yourself some love for feeling it?
That's a hard one.
Well, compassion then, some compassion. I know
Okay.
you find that easier. So could you just allow compassion? Yeah.
Yeah.
And can you welcome any remaining sense of grief that's here in this moment?
Yes.
Can you just allow it to have the space that it needs to release? And can you give yourself some love again for feeling that? For those emotions that are here right now?
Yes.
Yeah. How's that now?
That's better. Yeah.
Good, good.
Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Thanks.
And if you find you need some more support, just get in touch with me. You know how to do that. So just do it. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's our call for today.
Nice. What if we just invite everybody to unmute? They can say goodbye. They can, well, I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Yvonne.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Wonderful.
Bye, everyone.
Thank-
Bye.
Bye, everyone, and thanks.
Okay, then. Bye for now.